Howdy everyone, it's me, Zombie, and welcome back to my happy little cosplay channel. Today I'm doing something really different, but I'm really excited about it because, as some of you may know, I made a Hobbit costume in my last video, and now I'm gonna be taking it to New Zealand, which I am so excited about. You have no idea. I actually knew I was going to New Zealand before I made that Hobbit costume because I knew I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to make some kind of Lord of the Rings Hobbit costume and bring it to New Zealand to do a photo shoot. So I am a 27-year-old woman who wanted to make a costume to bring with me on vacation to take photos. Is this weird? No, it's not. And with that, let's go to the future. It's a future noise. So I decided to do a photo shoot in Tongariro National Park because that's where Mount Naruhoya is, which is also known as Mount Doom.
Listen, if we get this ring to Mordor, we're gonna be in big trouble.
The whole park is just heckin' gorgeous, and Mount Doom is just icing on the cake. When Adam and I arrived at the park, we drove up Mount Ruapehu because we had the idea to get some photos at Mead's Wall. Mead's Wall was used for the scene where the ring got cut off Sauron's hand, and also where Sam and Frodo met Gollum for the first time. But once we drove all the way up there, we found that the path that leads to Mead's Wall was closed for construction, which was a bummer, but at the same time, I mean, they gotta do maintenance on the park at some point. But even though that was kind of a disappointment, we definitely made do. Luckily, this area was located by this whole ski village, and since it was about 1,100 meters up, and it was cold, and it was rainy, there was like no one there. So I used their public bathroom to my advantage to get dressed into my Hobbit costume. And you may ask, why aren't you already dressed in your Hobbit costume? And that is because I was too chicken to change at the hotel and exit the hotel as a Hobbit. I was counting on finding a bathroom or getting changed in the car, and luckily this bathroom was great. It was a little cramped for getting changed into a costume, but it was definitely better than nothing. And while I'm awkwardly getting into my Hobbit costume and dropping my ears on the floor, nice, I would like to thank my patrons. Your support makes videos and costume projects like this possible. When you join me on Patreon, you get access to all my photos and projects early, get to see exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, and access to the Discord community. So thank you all so much for your support. There was also this point where I heard a knock on the door, and I was very scared that someone had magically appeared and really needed to use the restroom, and I was holding them up because I was getting changed into a costume and I felt really bad. But then I heard Adam's voice and I was very reassured. He was just checking on me since I was taking a long time to get ready. I finished getting into costume and took the little trek back to the car to go to some more locations. Adam and I saw some pretty amazing views on the way up of both Mount Ruapehu and of Mount Doom. By the way, sorry if I'm messing these Maori names up. They're really hard for me to pronounce, so I'm sorry. About a 2-minute drive down from the little ski village, we found this location. It had an amazing view of Mount Ruapehu, and it just looked cool. There were all these like volcanic rocks everywhere, and I just really wanted to get some photos here. So it was still raining and it was still cold, but I took my little boots off and my little sockies off, and I took my Hobbit feet for a stretch. It was really cold and sand kind of got everywhere, but Adam made it worth it by taking these phenomenal photos. He really did a great job as a photographer by letting me try out a bunch of different poses and then coming up with his own poses that he just thought would look cool, and he really helped direct me and position me during the photo shoot just to come up with these really cool shots. It makes doing photo shoots like this flow really smoothly. And here are some of my favorite shots from the first location. I couldn't be happier with them. And just so you guys know, when I'm editing on the go using my phone, I like to use Photoshop Fix and Facetune 2 to edit. These are both free for you to try, so if you're curious, you can try them out for yourself. After I was done at this location, I put my wet sandy feet back into my socks and my boots and continued down the mountain. It was only about a 5 to 7 minute drive to reach the next lookout point, which was a phenomenal view of Mount Doom. Turns out it's not as scary as it is in the movies. It's actually awesome and beautiful, and the perfect place to get some photos. The rain let up a little bit, which was nice. I put my Hobbit feet back into the wet sand and posed for some more photos. I feel like every few steps I took, I kept finding better and better spots for photos, so I ended up hiking a little bit in bare feet out there, which I really don't recommend. If you can, you should totally bring some like flip-flops or something. I just didn't think of it for some reason, but just so you know, flip-flops, good idea. But oh well. In just a few minutes, Adam got some really neat shots. Here's how they turned out. And I actually thought that we were done at this point, but as we were driving down the mountain back to our hotel, we saw this little place to park your car and like a clear trail. Like, this was a walking trail. People had definitely used it at some point before, but there weren't any signs that it was like an official trail on the park or anything. I don't know what that situation was, but there also weren't any signs saying keep out or private property or anything like that. So we just got out real quick and walked down the trail. It turns out this was a pretty big hill and we walked down for about 5 minutes. And when we got out of the clearing, there was this amazing stream and it was so beautiful, and it had completely stopped raining at this point and the rocks were just popping out of the water enough to where we could walk on the rocks and get into some really cool poses and get some shots. So that's exactly what I did, and Adam again killed it with the photos. He did a great job. Later on, looking at a map, it looks like this stream that we went to actually connects to Towhide Falls, which was where they shot Gollum catching fish in the Lord of the Rings movies, which I didn't know until later, but I thought was really cool. It only took a few minutes for Adam to get some really awesome shots, and at this point we were both ready to get inside and get dry and get warmed up. And this was also the point that I figured out that the battery in my camera was actually old and had gone bad, and it died. So it turns out it was kind of perfect timing. It was meant to be. So we wrapped everything up, went back to our hotel, and I was just looking through all the photos and I felt so grateful because this is definitely the coolest photo shoot I've ever done. It's probably the coolest photo shoot I'll ever do. I'm feeling so grateful that I had the opportunity to do this, and really grateful that Adam was a photo wizard and took all these amazing photos, and thankful to New Zealand for being so freaking beautiful. It was just such a cool experience and I would love to do it again sometime. And I'll never forget being a hobbit at Mount Doom. It's just makes my little nerd heart so happy. So with that, I'll go ahead and go into the Makers of the Week. This week's Makers of the Week include Lola V Cosplay, who showed me her fantastic Commander Shepard cosplay. I love how this turned out. You look amazing. Yashiyuki Cosplay showed me their Thanos cosplay. It's so giant and cool. Thank you so much for showing me your hard work. And finally, Amazonian Cos showed me her Cersei cosplay she's working on. The embroidery on this is so insane. It's just mind-blowing. It's so good. Thank you so much for showing me. If you're working on something that you're proud of, whether it's cosplay or otherwise, I would love to see it because seeing what you guys create really makes my day. I love seeing your hard work. So if you'd like to show me what you're working on and possibly be featured as a Maker of the Week, so you can go ahead, show me on Twitter or Instagram. My name is the same on both. It's at Zombies Workshop, and I hope to see you over there. I hope you guys liked the video today. I know it was something different, but if you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I would love to see you back. See you next time. Bye everyone.